Hello and welcome to Faithfully Stampin' with Jennifer Helm. I am Jennifer Helm, the Faithful Stamper, and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I have today a different sort of video for you. I issued a challenge over on my Facebook page, The Faithful Stamper, because I was going to be away, but I like to still engage. And so I have these cute little challenge dice that I roll, and they give me characteristics to put together a card using as many of the elements as I can. And so this was my list of elements. It had to be a birthday card that involved blending, in colors, die cuts, and then you had to add designer series paper, DSP, foil, or some other kind of element such as that. So this is the card that I came up with. So it is a birthday card. I used blending on my die cut label. So two things there. In colors. Now this is not the new set of in colors from 2024 to 2026. This is the 2023 to 2025 set of in colors. Misty, not Misty Moonlight. There's a beautiful blue. It's not Misty Moonlight, it's Boho Blue, and Moody Mauve are the colors that I used on this card. So I'm going to show you real quick how to put it together. Not a super fancy layout, a really easy one that's great to replicate for other cards. I've been using this one quite a bit, and so I just thought it was perfect to share. So the reason I'm stuck on Misty Moonlight is because that is what color I made my card base. So this is Misty Moonlight, 8.5 by 5.5, folded in half at 4 1/4. Okay, so to that, we are going to add 2 pieces of designer series paper that are 2 inches tall by 5 1/4 inches wide. And I want to share with you really quick this set of paper. This is our Iconic Celebrations 6x6 paper. It is a new online exclusive, so be sure to hop on over to the website and check that out. I'm not going to bore you to death, but I just wanted to show you all the different papers here. And this is just one side. We've got Christmas, Valentine's Day, fall with leaves, some plaids, some stars, some trees, some snowflakes, fireworks, and then, let's see if I can do this. We've got birthday, we've got doves, pumpkins, more trees, candy canes, acorns, really great for the holidays coming up. I'm excited. I'm a fall girl, so I'm very excited about the acorns and the pumpkins. I can't wait to play. I need some fall weather. It's been too hot for me this summer here. Okay, so anyway, 2 inches tall by 5 1/4. And what I've been doing with this technique, and not necessarily all designer series paper, is I've been using it on cards. If you've been watching my videos, I've been using some of the ephemera packs that Stampin' Up! Has, and I have tons of pieces left over, and I'm really tired of looking at them laying on my craft space. So I've been using this kind of layout, either with 2 pieces of DSP, or very often a piece of DSP and a panel of embossed cardstock. I slap one of the ephemera pieces on it and then a label, and away I go. So it's very similar to what I'm doing here. I'm just doing a little more stamping and die cutting. But it's a great way to use up all those pieces, and it makes me happy to have them off my desk. Okay, so next what we're going to do is, in place of foil on this particular card, I'm using glimmer paper. This is our silver glimmer paper. And I love it because you can die cut it, you can punch it, or you can just use it on a card. So here, I'm just gonna lay it across to cover that seam. It kind of breaks up the busyness of the candle and then the confetti piece. All right. So now we're gonna get into the blending portion. And I have, let me make sure I use the right scrap. A scrap of white here that I'm going to die cut once I do some blending on it. So I'm going to use Moody Mauve and Boho Blue. So there's my in colors, and I have my blending brushes. So I'm just gonna swirl my color on, and then I have my scrap paper because I like to swirl off the paper and get started. and then blend onto the paper. I cannot figure out why I'm getting these marks. I think I might be pressing a little too hard with my brush, but that's okay. It's still gonna work. And then when I'm done with these brushes, I can rinse them out and use them with other blues or pinks or any color really. Okay, so there's that. I'm gonna add a little more blue. And the really fun thing with blending brushes is these look different every time I do them, just depending on how much blue, how much pink, what colors I use. I'm gonna come back one more time with some of the Moody Mauve. Now I wanna call it Misty Mauve. And just break that up a little bit. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is die cut my label on this piece. The die that I am using, I think I forgot to show you these. The stamp set that I'm using, I'm gonna use the big word celebrate here. And then you're gonna see a lot of these stamps in some of the other samples. Iconic Imagery, and the die that I'm going to use for my label is from that set, or the coordinating die set. And then my Inside Sentiment is from Timeless Arrangements, which has a lovely die set as well. Be sure to check those out online. Okay, so I'm going to take the Celebrate stamp and Pebbled Path ink. I thought about using navy, but I decided I really wanted to go with Pebbled Path. It kept it in the in colors. There we go. And then I'm going to die cut this. Now I'm going to bring over my mini cut and emboss machine. This is the Baby Boss, as we sometimes call it. It's a smaller footprint, very light and easy to travel with. I was away for the day yesterday with friends, and I knew I needed to do some embossing and die cutting, but I didn't want to bring my whole big machine, so I brought this one and my little plates. So I'm going to use the sandwich that's written right on here for thin dies. Plate number 1, then one plate number 2, which is my cut plate, as I call it. I'll need another one of the number 2s, which is my top plate. But I'm going to put, actually, I'm going to trim my paper really quick because it's just a little too wide. So, pardon me a moment. I'm going to take that off. I'll need that in just a second. For one other thing, that's better. It is a narrower footprint here, but my paper was just a smidgen too wide. Then I'm going to lay my die cut edge down around my word, put that top plate on, and then I'm gonna roll it right through the machine. I apologize if I jiggle the table a little bit. Then I'll dismantle my sandwich. And there is my label. Now, I could just slap this right on the paper, but it wasn't quite catching my eye this way. So what I'm gonna use my paper cutter for one more time. Look, I could even save that strip and put it somewhere. I love saving things. I die cut another label, same size. So I'm just gonna cut this in half. I'm gonna eyeball it. And then I'm gonna stretch my die cut. This is a great way to extend a die or add a little color to it in this case. So what I'm gonna do is just put some adhesive on the back of my label. And I'm going to just layer it a little bit. Now, so far, I've managed to line it up pretty well. If you're doing this and you have a little bit that sticks out, just grab your paper snips and snip it off. We'll see if I can put the second one on without needing to do that. And I think I managed it this time. I did not earlier. Okay, but isn't that cute? And it just, I like the navy just breaks it up, it draws your eye a little bit, and I really like how that looks now. So to this, I'm gonna add some dimensionals, and I like to kind of be sneaky and put my dimensionals kind of on the seam here, just to kind of help it stay a little bit on those ends. Whoop, don't need that many dimensionals. Okay. So backing comes off. And then I could put it in the center. I might do that. I've put it on right, left, and now we'll center it. Just like that. Now I could leave it alone, but I want to add one piece of bling. I didn't want to go too bling happy since I have the sparkle from the silver glimmer paper. But these little gems that I'm using from our Tinsel Gems 3-pack. Had my words in the wrong order. Tinsel Gems 3-pack. We have another pack with 4 in it. That's why it specifies 3. They have a little bit of sparkle in them, so I like that it kind of pulled it together, but I didn't want to go too crazy with the bling. So I love that. And now all I have to do is finish my envelope and my inside. So here's the envelope, here's my inside, which I'm gonna make sure I stamp in the appropriate direction. And I'm going to start with Boho Blue ink. And my candle goes on the envelope. This candle stamp is really cute, and there's another one with swirls on it. So I love it. And then Daffodil Delight for my candle flame. These are photopolymers, so I can see to line up the flame and get it just right on top of my candle. I just think that's so simple and cute. Love it. Envelope is done, and then I just need my words. So I'm gonna go back to that Pebbled Path ink to kind of pull it all together, and then hope your day is filled with everything good. This will get glued inside the card, and then just like that, my card is ready to go. So there we have it. So you can see how simply that layout comes together. And I'm going to show you just a couple more samples that I did using all the same elements. So here's the first one. So I used a DSP that looks like blending, but actually is not. The blending is done on my die cut again here. I added some pieces of DSP that I had laying on my bench, and a little bling. And then there's another birthday card featuring blending. This used the Newer In Colors die cuts, and then I found the foil that I had misplaced for my earlier card. And there you go. Here is another birthday card. Here I let the DSP do a lot of the talking and use blending brushes in Moody Mauve and Wild Wheat on my label with an extra die cut. So you can just take this idea and use as many of the elements with any kind of layout really. So here, this one uses a lot of the foil. It kind of ombres from the Mossy Meadow to the Wild Wheat. So I used Mossy Meadow on my die cut labels. I really love this foil paper, so much so that I used it a couple more times. So here is a card I blended on the envelope just to use some of the excess ink on my blending brush. Foil, die cut with blending. I added some glimmer with punches this time. And there we go. I'd love it if somebody sent me a card that looked like that. And then last but not least, I did step away from the birthday for a moment. My motto is work smarter, not harder, and I needed an anniversary card. So I hope you'll forgive me for stepping away from birthdays. So here I used my foil paper, blending, which I then punched and added a background piece. This is a retired punch pack that we've had. Some more punches. This is our bow punch. You should be able to find that one on the online catalog, and a retired stamp set. But I can't wait to send this to a couple from church who is celebrating their anniversary. And that is our quick look at cards that were birthday for the most part, blending in colors, die cuts, and DSP foil, etc., or glimmer paper. So I hope you enjoyed a quick look at those different characteristics put together in a card. You can hop on over to Facebook at The Faithful Stamper and see the challenge post where some of my followers are going to add cards of their own for a little contest. I talk more there about specials and other opportunities that Stampin' Up! Offers. And I'd love to have you as part of that community as well. And thank you for being here on my YouTube channel. If you haven't already, I'd love for you to subscribe. You can click the notification bell if you'd like to be notified each time a video goes live here on the page. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and happy crafting.